All right, back on the CT-F1250 cassette tape. Order of business today is to work on the replacing this pinch roller. This is the main one. This is the capstan motor that drives it in play, so the speed's got to be right. If this, if speed is wrong or the roller is lopsided or slipping, nothing's going to work right. So, getting out this E-clip, pulling this off, replacing this is number one. I'm going to look at the two belts that are remaining. That they look okay from the original, but I just can't bring myself to say, well, if those were put on in at latest 1981, they're fine. Leave them in there. When I have two replacements, so I want to see if I can dig down a little bit farther here and find out if I can get those replaced. One of them is easily visible from the top here. Actually, you can see it right there. That's the top of one of the two belts, but it's tight space, and either I can figure out. I haven't been stymied trying to figure out how to separate these things, but that's the order of business, the attack plan. Get the belts replaced and get the pinch roller replaced. If I can succeed in that, then it's start to reassemble time. And in the meantime, I'm using my revived reel-to-reel, my 707, and I'm going to be playing that kind of in the background here, just kind of to give it a burn-in test, if you will, before I put it all back together. I replaced the fuse. I had a temporary 400 milliamp or 500 milliamp fuse in there, which was the illumination for the VU meters. So I replaced that. That's working. The replacement's working fine. So just going to let it, little test run here in the background while I'm working on it. Stay tuned for more on the CT-F1250. All right, progress update. Adding on to what I had started earlier video on, I have now replaced this pinch roller. So both pinch rollers have been replaced now. I did get into the back and through the top. I've replaced the two other belts. So there were three belts in here. One was actually gone and turned to goo. The other two I looked at. I actually took the easier one out and looked at it, and it was bigger. It was thicker, which was I wish the new one was thicker, but it was a little bit bigger when I measured it. And it's like, well, these belts are probably 40 years old. So I went ahead and I replaced both of the other two belts that I had. They were a little bit smaller. Well, one was thinner diameter, but it was still, robust enough that I think it would be good. And the fact that the other ones were stretched a bit, I just felt, that, if they weren't going to be tight on the pulleys, that I would be doing a disservice to not replace them. So, all the belts have been changed. I have re-greased the back plate. There's a lot of things in here that slide up and down. When you put the tape in, it's got to allow for the tape to get inserted and then grab it, claw it, if you will. So there's oil and some actual ball bearings in here behind these plates that actually have to be greased so that those plates slide correctly. So that's all been done. I've got it basically back together where I can start, shuffling this down into the face and reassembling the circuit boards and things like that, reattaching the connector, things like that. But basically, this is stage 2 of 3, I think, of basically, I'm now to the point where I've done all of the repairs that I'm going to do, and now I'm going to start, reassembly. I've started some of it, obviously, to get to this point, but that was more just, making sure things worked. I don't want to go too far, and I'll leave some screws off, because if this all has to come out again and it's not working, I don't want to, start from scratch and, take the cover off and take the faceplate off and things like that. But this is an update. I'll splice this onto the first one I did earlier this morning when I was getting ready to do those final operations. So this is a couple hours later, but progress is good. And I think, like I said, I think we're done with the repair portion of this deck. So let's see how it goes back together. Stay tuned. Oh, I forgot to add a little splice here of the reel-to-reel. This has been playing all the while I've been doing the first repair. So it's been running about 2 hours. It's gone through one side, and I'm playing back on the other side now. So far so good. No smoke, no calls to the fire department. So Wanted to give you that little update too.